Awesome. Here we come, man. This is the 757 House Whisperers Show. We are glad to be with you tonight, every Wednesday night from 6 to 7 p.m. We are here with our panel of experts. I ask you guys to try and challenge the... can you not hear me?
No, you're fine.
All right. I got a big mouth. You can't hear me?
I'm gonna boom you down a little bit.
Oh, there you go. All right. So this is Chuck Worley. I'm with the 757. I'm the founder of the 757 House Whisperers Show, and we have a panel of experts that fix houses. And there is really nothing. You guys cannot stump the experts when it comes to fixing houses. I'm gonna introduce a couple of the guys on the show, and gal. We do have a gal on the show. This is equal opportunity contracting. Of course, she's probably tougher than all of us, but I know she's less scared of crawl spaces than Jack. So
I don't mess with bugs.
that's why you're the painter, right? So introduce the guys. Justin with Pyramid Roofing. We got Mike Davenport with CVP Custom Vinyl Products, Windows and Doors. We got Albin with Albin Co. Remodeling Homes. He does bathroom remodels, kitchen remodels, additions, whatever you need done to the house. That's Albin. Albin is awesome. He's a very smart guy. Then we got Cindy Raw. She's the toughest one of all of us at Alpha Pest Solutions. A little plug for her tonight. She needs some help. So anybody, your kid, your nephew, you're trying to get them out of the house, you're trying to show them how the trades are where it's at, she will train them, teach them anything they need to know about crawl spaces. The only thing that they need to know is they can't be afraid of bugs, right? So, but she will teach them anything you need to know about pest control or fixing houses, insulation, any stuff in a crawl space. So if you got a young kid that wants it, text the show at 955-9415. That's 955-9415. Text us and your nephew's number or kid's number. When I say that, when I say kid, being 55 years old, anybody under 30 is a kid to me. You barely qualify.
It's a sad night. It's a sad day. Yeah.
Jack, he's still a kid. He's what are you, 20?
25 in a couple days.
Oh my goodness. We were discussing having socks that old. So
yeah. To be young.
It's but I'm gonna let Jack introduce himself. He is a great contractor, young contractor. I was telling me and Damon were talking about what the heck were you doing at 25? It sure as heck wasn't running my own company. It was 5-10 employees running around with trucks and responsibilities, and I don't even think I was married yet. No, maybe I was married. I was married. Yeah, but that was it.
I was still having my last lifeguard, my last summer lifeguarding. I think I was 25.
That was a sad day.
It was. It was.
How
16 to 25 on and off. I had my times.
Yes.
I had my best of times, and at that point, you can just close the chapter.
I had a kid working for me. I coached him in wrestling years and years ago, Brian Witt, and I always tell this story on him all the time. He's like 150 pounds. I'm coaching him at Heritage High School. He's great. He's a district champ. He's a great kid, man, great kid. So we're sitting there talking. He works for an entire summer. He's 150 pounds, right? Entire summer. Busts his butt. Everybody wants him on the job because he comes to work every day. He's diligent. He works hard, and crawl spaces suck sometimes, right? So anyway, the next summer he comes back about 195. That's a different crawl space. He goes, Coach, man, these crawl spaces are getting a little bit snugger, And of course we'd stick him out in old Hilton houses, which are about 12 inches off the ground, down by the old shipyard. It was the old original houses built by the shipyard to have employees. They had to have places to live, so they built all these houses right down in Hilton Village. But anyway, he comes back. He goes, for the same amount of money you're paying me to be under this house, I can watch pretty girls walk by me at the pool. I was like, man, they got any other jobs? I might want to do it too. But yeah, so he left me. We were very sad. But anyway, then fast forward, you never know about life. 15 years later, He's graduated. He's got a kid. He's graduating college. I think he's at WM Jordan now. But anyway, he calls me up and said, "Hey, Coach, Chuck, I need you to come over and look at my house." So we give him price to fix all this house, and I'm like, "Hey, man, if you want to pull the insulation out and all that stuff, like you could not." He's like, "No, I'll be paying you to do that. I'm not." I said, "Man, you know how to do it. We trained you." He goes, "No, I would not be." I would not be doing that. So absolutely hysterical. But anyway, he called us because he trusts us, because he knew my manager was his manager, 15, 20 years ago. He's still with me. So, but anyway, Mr. Jack, introduce yourself.
Yeah, well, thank you, Chuck. My name's Jack Keller. I'm Legacy Painting, based right here out of Yorktown. And really just try to focus on a easy, stress-free experience with a home service company. We do painting, drywall, interior, outside. But yeah, just take the time. We'll sit down, go over exactly what you're looking for, and make sure you're taking care of each step of the way, and make sure you get a good quality product at the end of it all.
All right, so let's call in 627-7979. Call in with any questions about your house. Try and stump my experts. Ask questions, problems, any issues with the house. We will make the show fun for you and come up with some trivia questions, which I've got a couple cool ones. I'm a big history buff, even though my history teacher wouldn't believe a word of that. But I'm gonna ask you a couple trivia questions now. But 627-7979, anything, gutters, roofing, heating and air conditioning, electrical, plumbing, crawl space, moisture, any issues with the house, I want you guys to call in. We got the paint expert here. If you got any questions about paint, how to paint something, even DIY, even if you're trying to do it yourself. This show is a public service announcement for people in our area. It's helping people fix their houses. And here's the cool part. When we help you fix your house, and we're willing to use our experience and our years of experience helping you fix your house, when your neighbor comes up and says, "Hey, man, I see you paint your house. You want to paint mine?" You're going to say, "No, I want you to call Jack because he told me what to do," right? So it's a public service announcement. It's paying it forward, helping people in our community, and they're going to reciprocate, right? They're going to call us back, and they're going to ask for help, or if anybody, because nobody wants to paint their neighbor's house. Right. They want to paint their own house and save themselves some money. But our service area is pretty much all of us go New Kent all the way to Toano, Lenexa up just past Williamsburg, not Richmond, and then all the way to the Virginia line. I do know a couple of the other guys. I know Mike goes into Richmond. He goes some into Carolina. I think Albin stays pretty close here. Justin is the same. And Cindy will travel a little bit, but as I said earlier, I'm going to give her another plug. If you got anybody under any age, any experience with pest control, they don't like their job, she will take care of you. She is just a fantastic person, and she is looking for great people. I mean, character and integrity and doing the right thing is really hard to find in the trades. But I surround myself with those type of contractors, and that's why they're on our show. So if you know anybody in the pest control business that's not happy at their job, she will definitely help them. So I wanted to basically, we're trying to find everybody in the Hampton Roads homeowners and help them fix their house. Call in, tell us your problems, and we will help you fix your house. We will also help you protect you from bad contractors. We have had a couple situations. One of the guys, friends of mine, has already texted in. He didn't want to call in, but he has had a nightmare. Had a company sell him all this stuff, and I just went by the house today, and it was I was embarrassed by the installation. So it was you can't say anything bad, right? What'd Mama say? Don't say anything. Don't say anything bad about somebody else. So I just say that there are better quality contractors out there, right? So let me ask you a trivia question. What was Custer last stand? Where was Custer's last stand? And of course, he was trying to drive the Indians out, which didn't work well for him. And what was his first name? You got it?
I don't.
I know the answer to
Dude,
this
you
one.
just left history class like 3 years ago. You just graduated. So where was it? What was the date, or even just the year, if you get close on a year? And then what number president? Like Trump was what, 45? So what was Reagan? What was his number? And when did he die? Which I didn't realize it was so long ago. It was a while ago. So, but those are my trivia questions. Call in, answer the trivia questions. We got a Starbucks card for anybody that calls in. Definitely call in. So 757-627-7979. Call in. Don't wait till the last of the show because it never fails, Damon.
Yeah.
13 people call in the last 3 minutes. And so call in now. So looks like we got a call from Sergio. Hello, Mr. Sergio.
Yeah, hey, Sergio here.
How are you doing, Mr. Sergio?
I'm doing okay. Normally I speak to Dave Parker. Is Dave Parker?
No, we got this slouch in here now. This Damon guy.
Oh, are you kidding? Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
All right, I'm about to get cut off the radio now. No, we got the A team in here today. We got the A team in here. We got Damon.
Yeah, can't help you with
I know,
Dave
I
Parker.
know.
Might be 10 years too late.
All right.
What can I do for you?
So just so I get the name straight, who's the lead that I'm speaking to?
This is Chuck Worley with Worley's Home Services.
Chuck. Yes. So here's what I got. I've been here, almost 30 years, and my home is 1962 time frame, and I've gone through a lot of the contractors and the specialties and everything, all of which have been recommended by WNIS and Dave Parker and Company and, all them guys. So, but I'm glad to hear you're saying home service kind of thing.
Okay.
Because it's not a specific, it's not a crawl space issue, it's not a insulation, it's not a windows, it's not this or that. So, at this point in time, I'm looking for a general home service to come out and look at the entire home and give me an estimate or a proposal on I would do this or that or what needs to be done. And it sounded like that's kind of what was being spoken about as I got home from work and I turned on the radio.
Okay. Yeah, we can we do everything. Worley's Home Services, we do heating and air conditioning, electrical, plumbing, crawl space encapsulations, spray foam insulation, insulating houses, pretty much anything having to do with building science and weatherization with the house. We have Davenport here, Mike, doing windows and stuff like that, but pretty much any other weatherization or fixing the houses, that's what we do. So, yeah, I can definitely have one of my guys come out there and just kind of do a run through, kind of look and see what needs to be done and give you some recommendations on a timeline. So we can do everything at the same time, or we can kind of all right. So we give crawl space encapsulations and insulating attics, prices. Obviously, it's not the cheapest thing in the world that you're going to be doing. But what we tell people is, look, the biggest return on investment is spray foam and insulating the attic. But if your crawl space looks like a war zone, obviously we're going to recommend that you do the crawl space first. You got rotten wood, you got other stuff, foundation issues. We're going to be pointing you in the direction of fixing things that are really a problem in your house first, obviously. And then, a lot of times we'll run into ductwork, ductwork issues. If we're in the crawl space and the ductwork looks like, bombs went off in it, so we'll kind of do a sequence of operation, I guess. All right, first thing first, we need to do the crawl space. The second thing we need to do is the ductwork. Then maybe let's go up in the attic and start, attacking, fixing that stuff, especially if you haven't done anything in 30 years. which we have seen. We've seen 29-year-old air conditioners that they haven't even changed the filters in the last 20 years. So we have seen some crazy stuff. And the reason the filter didn't get dirty is because it's pulling all the air from the crawl space. He's like, my filter never gets dirty. Really? Yeah, I can see that. It just pulls from the attic and from the it's some crazy stuff. But yeah, we'll come out and see you next week. Thank you for calling in.
Well, hang on.
Oh,
hang
sorry.
on, because everything you mentioned, already done that, been there. Crawl space, encapsulation. We've talked about that. So all that, I've already addressed all that. So if that were you're going to come to address, then I don't need that. I need above and beyond that.
Okay. Well, let me call you off the air and let's get more specific, and then we got a couple other callers that called in, but we'll get more specific on what exactly you need, because we can do pretty much anything, or I can lead you in the right direction of getting anything fixed.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely.
All right. George. Oh, I'm sorry, Dell. Is it Dell?
Yeah.
All right, Dell from Yorktown.
Yeah,
How you doing, Mr. Dell?
I'm doing fine.
That is good. Sounds like you got a answer to one of my trivia.
I heard you were doing trivia, and I was on my car, and I just decided to call. So,
Did you want me to repeat the questions?
yeah, any question?
All right. So, where was Custer's last stand, and what was Custer's first name?
His first name was George. Middle name was Armstrong, and Little Bighorn.
It was. So, Bighorn County. Yeah, I looked that up, and it was Bighorn County, which I thought was interesting, because I had always heard Little Bighorn, but it was Bighorn County. Do you remember what year?
It was around 1883, but no, I don't remember the year.
All right. You were close. We got a gift card for you for calling in. And do you have a house in Yorktown? Where do you live in Yorktown? That's where I live.
In Coventry.
Okay. Now you know exactly those green and orange trucks sitting in front of your building over on 17. We bought the old Rips cigar shop and converted that. So we're in the same neighborhood. How old is the house?
It's in Tab Lakes, so whenever Tab Lakes was built.
Okay.
I've been there 24 years, but.
Oh wow. You got any issues in the house? Are you thinking about getting corrected anytime soon?
No, I got a new heaters, new outdoor units, new roof. So.
All right, sounds like you're heading in the right direction. Well, thank you for calling in. We will definitely send you out a gift card. But thank you for calling in. We got George in Chesapeake.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Mr. George in Chesapeake. How are you?
Good. I just want to answer that trivia question you asked.
All right. Which one?
It was General George Custer, because my name's George. That's easy to remember.
That was easy, yeah.
And it was at Little Bighorn, which is in Montana. It was 1876 on June 25th, 26th. My birthday's June 26th, so that's easy to remember.
I think you cheated. I think you did. He cheat? I mean, his birthday's that day. So in history class, that was the only thing you remembered was Bighorn and what the date was.
That's right. That's right. And I remembered his name, too.
That is true. That is true. Yes, and you got the date perfect. You got the date perfect. So how long you been in Chesapeake?
Oh, about 30-some years,
Oh, wow.
30, 40 years.
Same house? Same house?
Yeah, same house. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It was built in 1991, and we've replaced almost everything, and we just recently got new gutters.
Okay.
So that made a world of difference.
Did you make it past the Quest? Was there a Quest in the house in the 90s? Did you have
no.
Quest pipe? Did you have
No,
Quest
I didn't
pipe?
have that.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you lucked
Thank
out.
God.
In the 90s, we had the recall on all of the Quest pipe that was put in the houses.
I've heard about that.
Yeah,
I've heard about that, and some of my neighbors did in the same neighborhood, which is weird.
Yeah, well, I'd rather be lucky than good, right? So,
Right?
that was you definitely ducked a bullet because When you put that stuff in a house, it's not a question of if it leaks, it's when it leaks. So it's it is not a lot of fun. Not a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, got any questions about your house? Any issues? And what year did you say it was? 91.
It was built in 91. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any issues with the house?
Yeah, I replaced the roof, the central air conditioner, I replaced the fence, and now the gutters. I replaced everything.
Yeah,
so we've been busy.
yeah. It's not a question of if, it's when, right?
You know, I'm sensing a pattern with tonight's callers. Maybe we need to talk about dehumidifiers in the crawl space. Nobody's mentioned that, or tankless hot water systems.
Yeah, I do have a text from a customer yesterday that wanted me to talk about tankless. Tankless.
Perfect timing too. Heading into the winter, who doesn't want endless hot showers or hot tubs for once?
Absolutely. So his. I don't know if I got enough time to go into that question, but the tankless was what do you have to set your water temperature at for a tankless water heater? So I found this out because while doing my remodel, somehow the button went from 120, which is where I normally set it. It's the max setting on that, and it got set down to 104. So I got in there, it was like lukewarm, and I'm like, okay, something's not wrong. It's still heating, obviously, but this is not hot. Like something's wrong. So I went in to see what happened. It was 104. So you can actually set those things for whatever you want. You could set it at 120, but you're going to have to use the mixing valve and put cold water in with it to bring the temperature down. So what I think you should do is play with that thing and go 110, 111, 112. You just turn it to all the way hot, and you don't have to put mixed cold water into it. It's the right temperature. It's whatever temperature you want. So that's pretty cool. That's one of the cool things about the tankless is. I mean, you could do that on a tank, but I mean, it's not going to be hot enough for 6 people in the shower and all that stuff. But with the tankless, you can actually dial in the exact hot water temperature that you want, so you don't have to mix cold water with it. So, all right, here we go. We'll see you guys when we get back. 627-7979. Call in with your questions so we can answer. Here we go. We got, actually, we're on Facebook Live. I've got a friend of mine, the Honda guy, Mark Bowles. He asked a question: what is the humidity in a crawl space supposed to be set? What we want to do is stay away from 60% humidity because that's when mold and mildew start to grow and start doing bad things. So if we can keep it under 60% humidity, we're going to have a whole lot less issues. Now, when we have dehumidifiers and we have a fan system, I call it the Worley wind underneath the house, that the fans and the dehu kind of all work together. So you don't have to have 16 dehus under the house. It all kind of works as a system, kind of like everybody going in the same direction in a pool, gets all the water going in the same direction. So it's like a whirlwind type of effect. And then we put a humidistat at the door, so it kind of controls the whole thing. So anyway, that is we set that at 50% humidity, which is really where you want it set if you have something under there to control it. But once you start having over 60% humidity, that is the death of the house. That's when it's going to start having issues.
On that same question, does the same effect go to somebody's garage that doesn't have a supply return vent with their HVAC system, or it's a detached garage that they, have stuff in that still is, in-law suite, let's say, and they don't run the AC? Does that
so what
apply?
you don't want to do is just cut your unit off, right? We have so many people like rooms over the garage, or they have a mini split in their garage, and they're insulated, everything, and then they just cut the daggone thing off. Once you start getting into 80 degrees, 79, 80, 81, 82 degrees, dew point is going to hit, moisture is going to start developing, and once that happens, that sweat and the condensation and all that's when all your issues are gonna start happening. So I'd say, look, just when you're going out of town, even set your stat at 77. Don't set it at 82. Like I know people, in the wintertime they'll set it to 60, 55 even. That's fine. That's not going to hurt anything. Humidity and issues, we're not going to have any of those issues, right? But in summertime, humidity will attack. So we want to keep it even 78, 77, not 81, right? Because by the time it gets to 81, we're going to have mold somewhere when you get back into town. So keep that in mind. Like I said, even a room over the garage, keeping that thing at 79 degrees, 77 degrees is not going to kill your utility bills. It's going to come on. It's going to keep the moisture down, and that's what we want. We really don't even care about the temperature. We care about the humidity, right? So good question. Remember, call in 627-7979. You can text us on our show, 955-9415. I almost forgot my own number. 955-9415. Text in questions, any type of concerns with the house if you're too shy to call in. But we got the trivia question. We're still waiting on what number Reagan was for presidents, like 45 was Trump. And then what year did he die, which is shockingly a long time ago. So let's go to Diana in Chesapeake. Miss Diana, sounds like you got some moisture issues. What can we do for you?
Hi, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you perfectly.
Okay, yes. So we do have some moisture issues. We've been in our home for 30 years, and we recently purchased 4 windows to replace one window that we knew was rotten, but to replace the other 3 windows to make it aesthetically pleasing on the outside so they all look the same. So when they came in with the windows, replaced the 2 top windows, those went in fine. And then when they came down to the bottom 2 windows, they worked on the window that we didn't think we had a problem with. And there they found a lot of rot and also active termites. So they stopped the project and boarded up the window. They left the window that we knew had rot in it. So we still have light coming into that window. So we've had several people come out and give us quotes. All of them are a little bit different, so we're confused. And we don't know who we need to go to. We don't know really who to trust, to be honest. So I did reach out to Cindy today because I know she was on another show recently.
She is.
And I did give contact information, so I need somebody to help. If it's not Cindy, then maybe somebody else.
Yeah, we can definitely get Mike Davenport with CVP Custom Windows and Doors. We can get him out there this week to take a look. I have been friends with him for over 30 some years. You trust somebody when you leave your kids with them. So he is like Grandpa Mike to. I think he'd rather have Uncle Mike, but he's Grandpa Mike to my kids. Like he's just a great character integrity guy. What he tells you, you may not like, but it will be the truth. And that's what I tell when I'm telling people stuff or problems in their house. Some stuff, man, they just don't want to hear it. And I'm just like, look, if I tell you this, it's the truth. You may not like it. You may not like how it sounds. You may not like what it costs to fix. That's all fine, but if it's accurate and it's true, then you can make your own decisions, right? Because there's so many things, not just windows. There's heating and air conditioning. There's plumbing. There's, I've had people walking through and the panels off and, got black burnt wire. And, the last electrician said that's okay. Well, no. If you got kids in the house, you can't have the panel off. Like, You have to have all 4 screws in the panel, not one.
And Chuck, I hate to interject and ask, but I'm sure you've seen people and the looks on their face when they've spent $20,000 or $30,000 on a quote-unquote fix on their house that did nothing but probably further the issue at hand.
Or they fixed the problem that the customer said, hey, look, I got this problem, but it was actually a symptom of the problem. The best example I have of that is someone calling me out for a sweaty duct system. So what happens? The duct guy comes out there. He sees an opportunity to sell a new duct system. So he sells them a new duct system. A month later, when it gets hot, guess what happens to that ductwork? It starts sweating again. So the problem with the ductwork wasn't that it was sweating. The problem with the ductwork was there was humidity in the crawl space that started sweating and condensing, and it was awful, right? So I don't know. We're more about let's find if it is the problem, that's great. That's what needs to be fixed. But it could be a symptom of another problem. And before you spend money to fix something, wouldn't you like to know that, hey, look, this could be coming too? You know, it's now some stuff with rotted windows. I mean, you might not know until you open up. I had an experience with that, and Mike helped me out with that and Albin actually helped me out a lot. So, you know, when we were moving we had some old windows in our, like a sunroom. Now, my house is a 1936 house, right? That's when it started. Had 4 additions, 4 additions. The newest addition had the rotted window, rot underneath the windows, which I'm like, you would think those, I mean, you would think those would be the best daggone windows in the house. No, sometimes old school is, we used to build houses really, really well, you know. But yeah, but you don't know what you don't know until you know it. I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I mean, basically, we're just, like I said, we're perplexed because everybody that comes in, they're a little bit different in what they say. And so, okay, so who do we trust? And there's a variation in pricing. So, yeah, I've listened to you on a regular basis. And anyway, finally just I need somebody else to come out and take a look.
Okay. Yeah, I will get Mike to. I just texted him while we're here. I'm gonna send your phone number to him, and he will probably call you tonight. So.
Okay, I'll tell you this, and I did mention it before. It's an EPIS home, so it's a stucco home, and
that's a problem.
We definitely know where the water is coming into the home, which is probably what attracted the termites.
Sure. Well, Cindy and Mike can work together. I mean, Cindy and Mike can definitely work together. If he's fixing the windows and cutting stuff out, Cindy can be in there treating stuff while he's changing wood out. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's a good combo to have. I mean, obviously, they have a good relationship with being on the show with me. So it is good to have contractors that are because a lot of contractors and egos are everywhere, right? So I've had people say, oh, this guy, or you messed my stuff up, I messed your stuff up. No, just if you have 2 character contractors in there and they're talking back and forth, say, hey, look, this happened, I pulled this out, this is going to happen. So kind of give you heads up before stuff, and it's not 2 people pointing fingers at each other. You know, I tell people all the time with like Ductworks and crawl space, like I'm not doing the ductwork if I'm not doing the crawl space. You're not having some crackhead, crawl space guy come in and jack up the crawl space and step on my ductwork. We're going to get physical. Like, no, don't mess my beautiful duct system up, right? So if I'm not doing both, I'll sometimes walk away from the job no, we're not doing, like, I want to do the whole thing. Because you're going to be yelling at one of us. I'd rather just you say, Chuck, there's a problem in my crawl space. It's one phone call. So I either yell at my duct crew for messing up the pretty crawl space that we built, or I'm going to be busting somebody in the crawl space for, the cool part is, like, when we first started doing it, we do all our electrical in crawl spaces. We're running circuits. We're doing all this stuff. And I had an electrician that kept stripping the wires to run all the lights underneath the house. So we have you've got at least 10 lights underneath the house when we're done. Light switch at the door. It looks beautiful, right? Well, my electrician was stripping the wires underneath the house. This crawl space is beautiful. Like, lights on, everything. So I go back after all these installs, I have a QA guy, that quality assurance guy, that does it now. But every install that we sold for the first 5 years I was in business, I was on every single install after the job was done. And I'm walking through, and I've got all this electrical laying all over the brand new crawl space.
That's what electricians do. They don't
That
pick
is
that
100%.
up.
When they don't work for me, they do that. When they work for me, they find a new job. I had to let him go. I'm like, you're disrespecting. Oh, it's just the crawl space guys. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't care if he's sweeping the floor at my shop. Like, no, everybody is the same level. I don't care if you're a 10-year vet or a 1-year guy that just figured out what the heck a heat pump was. Everybody's the same, man. You got to respect everybody in our company. And you don't disrespect a guy just because he's in a crawl space versus a heat pump guy or electricians. No, not going to have it. So we ended up letting him go just because he was too lazy to clean up his. All you need is a little shop vac. Or sweep it up. But yeah, it's people sometimes, you don't want him yelling at her or her yelling at him, and no, you just call me and I'll make it right.
So you don't have competing contractors; you have cooperating contractors.
That's correct.
Yeah,
that is.
Didn't
correct.
say it right, but yeah.
Yeah, no,
that's the idea.
That is correct. I think it's important. So yeah, Mike just texted me back. I'm gonna send his number so you guys send his
Okay.
I'll have him give you a call in a few minutes.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. We got to get a break, but 627-7979. We got about time for one or two more calls. And looks like we had a Geo question that just dropped off if he wants to call back. And that's it. Let's go. Oh, you ready? All right, here we go. We got a couple callers calling in, so let's go to Matt. Thanks for holding on, Matt. We got a split geothermal unit question.
Hey, thank you. I got to replace my geothermal unit in my attic, and I would like to know the pros and cons of going with a split geothermal unit. I like the idea of getting rid of the water going all the way to the attic. So standing by for your comments.
So Matt, me and you are on the same page. What makes me really nervous is water in an attic. Water heater in an attic, even an air handler in an attic still makes me nervous, right? Because there's water, condensation. But I will tell you this, 9 gallons per minute being pumped into my attic makes me really nervous. Because if you get a leak, you're gonna empty that well into your attic. So I think it's 9 gallons per minute being pumped into my attic. I have seen that happen before, so it doesn't happen a lot. It's, you get 10,000 units. One is probably going to do it. But, yeah, I agree with your thinking. I would definitely go to a split geothermal system. The problem is you do have to move some water piping and stuff like that. But safety-wise, I try and talk people out of water heaters in the attic for sure. But I can get out to you in the next day or so to take a look at that. We are selling a ton of geothermal right now. I think it's 26% tax credit, which is phenomenal. So it sounds like you've already got the wells, so that's even going to be a bigger blessing for you. So yeah, looks like we got a couple other callers. And thanks for calling in, Matt. I will definitely give you a call tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, Mike with Virginia Beach. Wood floor is bowing and crawl space issue. Mike, I can tell you 100% if you got bowing wood in your house on your floor that looks like a roller coaster, you have moisture in your crawl space. You may even have water in your crawl space. Have you had it inspected lately?
No, I have not, and that's one thing. That's what I had a friend that was visiting, and when he walked across the floor, he noticed the wood, and he said, "Hey, you see that? It looks like it's starting to bow, like some moon shape into it." He said that's usually you got moisture or something going on in your crawl space. And so it led me, as I'm driving home listening to you guys, I'm like, I wanted to give you a call and see if I could get Worley's out here to take a look at it.
Yeah, I could get over there in the next day or so for sure. Probably tomorrow, but let me. I know I've told this story before on this radio station, but I had a flooring company call me panicked one time because he had this 6'5" Commander. You remember me telling this story? Guy was a monster of a man. I mean, he looked like the guy on Heartbreak Ridge that, almost killed Clint Eastwood, that big gorilla, right? This guy's a monster, right? So we go into his house, and he's got, like, whoop-de-whoops in this brand-new $30,000 floor that he just spent. And this flooring guy, he's like Jack size. He's like 150 pounds, soaking wet. And this guy's going to die. Like, this guy's pissed. Brand new floor. The guy didn't check for moisture, or when he was putting the floor down, noticed it was 30% moisture in the wood. The problem with that is it's going to bow. So anyway, I go underneath the house. The guy's got water. He's got rats. He had just bought the house, and he just ripped everything out, put everything in brand new because that's what Mama wanted, so that's what he did. The problem was, so I said, look, you're going to have to give me a couple weeks, but let me get a dehu under there. Let me dry it out. And within a couple weeks, I got the floor to lay back down. And I personally want to say that I saved the life of a flooring guy in Virginia Beach. So that guy was a gorilla, man. I did not want him mad at us. But you can fix that as long as it's not too bad. I have seen one that was 6 inches high that it was the weirdest thing ever. It was 2,000 square foot house, and in a back bedroom where the water was actually on the other side of the house, just went whoop, like it was just like a 6 inch, I'm talking about what do you call the floor, the old floor, the tongue and groove, right? Mm-hmm. It's old school, like 1936 old school tongue and groove. Boom, like 6 inch, you could roll a roller coaster on it, right? So anyway, it took a minute, but it took about 6 months to get that one down to where you couldn't even tell. So it had another place in the house that it already broke and cracked, so they had to replace that part. But I was able to save the flooring guy's life and the floor. So we could definitely fix that, and that is definitely, if I had to guess, that's 100% what's going on. But I could get somebody out. Thank you for calling. I appreciate that. And next caller was there another one? Two, yeah. Two more. All right. What's their names? Two. Oh, two. All right. How you doing, Two?
Chuck.
What's up,
I'm
my
great.
man?
How are you?
I am well.
Somebody tell me about the mini splits are like the ones you can buy now are good, but the newer ones that are coming out have some safety issues.
Well, I mean, they're all built-in safety stuff, especially when it comes to water and pumps and disconnect, like cutting stuff off. We like air conditioning. What we don't like is that it produces water and dumps it in our house. That is a no-brainer, right? But yeah, the newer ones. I mean, we got inverter compressors. These things, like you buy a 2-ton mini split. These inverter compressors, literally, if I need 0.7 tons, that's all you get out of them. Like it could go up to 2 tons, but it literally dials in how much air conditioning you need into a house. They are so efficient. They are just a no-brainer. In fact, I'm redoing my whole house, and I'm putting a 1 mini split with 5 heads in my house. 0 ductwork. I'm not, because my crawl space is like 12 inches high, and Two, you've seen me. 12 inches in a crawl space and me just do not, those two things don't go together. Now, Jack, I could stuff him in there. He's small. But up in the attic is like, 2 foot tall. I'm like, you know what? I'm just not going to deal with ductwork. I'm putting in a 5-head mini split. So don't have to deal with it. And I got 5 thermostats in my house, so I can set anything to wherever I want, and it's fantastic. As always, everybody calls in at the last minute. We got like 30 seconds left, so I'm going to kind of just thank you guys for calling in to the 757 House Whisperers Show. We appreciate all the callers. I think, what do we have, 7, 8 callers tonight? We were able to help a lot of people tonight. When you call in and ask questions, you're helping yourself, but you're helping other people in our area. Thank you guys for calling in. We had a great show. Thank you, Jack.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chuck.